Hello! Today we're going to be talking about our third series in heat-related illness, which is treatment and prevention. Let's talk about treatment first because I've gotten everybody all worked up talking about heat-related illness, so what can we do about it? Really, if you are out in the field or at a parade or at a sporting event, it's all about rapid cooling of the individual who has succumbed to the heat. Cooling first, then transport. If you don't have access to any sort of cooling, of course, call 911 before you do anything else. But it is very important that you get this person's body temperature down as quickly as possible. When I was younger, I was always told, well, we don't want to get it down too much too fast. That's really not true at all, because it's at those really high dangerous temperatures that damage to the body is going on, and we want to reverse anything as quickly as possible. How to get somebody cool whose core temperature is 105 degrees? Well, one thing I might note is don't use a temporal thermometer or an ear thermometer. It's a rectal thermometer that is the most accurate. If you don't have access to one, which most people frankly don't, you want to cool this person down until they start shivering. That will probably mean their temperature's around 102 degrees. That's when it's time to transport them to the ER for more intensive treatment. You want to grab anything you can to help get this person cooled off, whether that is an ice bath or towels and a bowl of ice water or a bucket or something. If you have a garden hose, hose them down. Or if there is a cool shower nearby, get them in the cold water. Remove any excess equipment or excess clothes. So if this happens to be a football player and they have on their pads and everything, get all of that stuff off of them if you can, and cover any body surface area with something wet and cool. If it's towels, you want to remove them and get them cool again when they lose their cool. If the person is conscious and able to drink cold fluids, of course, encourage them to have some intake orally, but if they're nauseous or having stomach cramps, they may not feel like it, so you may really have to stick to external methods of cooling. If you don't have a thermometer, if they don't start shivering, 15 to 20 minutes of this is usually enough. If they don't seem to be cooling off at all, of course, go ahead and take them to the emergency room. So let's talk about some strategies on how to prevent heat-related illness. Unfortunately, I don't have medications that I can prescribe for this, so it is all about planning ahead and doing things before you know you're going to be exposed to extreme heat, humidity, or be wearing lots of equipment. If you are what we would consider a salt loser, if you're somebody who winds up with white streaks on your clothes after you've sweated a lot, then that means that you sweat out more salt than most people do. So you may need to incorporate a little extra salt or a lot of extra salt into this regimen. One of the things you want to do is pre-cool yourself. So if you are indoors or if you're in your car, blast the air conditioner on yourself so that you have a little bit of a head start when you go outside. You want to drink lots and lots of fluids, especially electrolytes. Don't just stick to water. Water is great, but when you know you're going to be sweating, you need some electrolytes in there too. Potassium, sodium, and magnesium, because that stuff gets sweated out along with the water. Try to get yourself acclimated if you know you're going to be outside for just one big event, if you're not going to be spending time outside a lot. And over 7 to 14 days prior to your exposure to the heat, spend some time outside. Increase by 10-minute increments every day so that you can sort of get yourself more used to it. If you are significantly overweight or out of shape, as are many of us, then try working on your fitness and building your stamina, because that will help you too. Please, 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 don't go outside and do something in the heat when you're sick. It's just a setup for disaster, and you're going to wind up feeling horrible for a lot longer. I know you probably really want to do this activity, but Dr. Mindy begs, just stay home when you're sick. If you have access to ice vests or any other sort of ice device like that, use it. If you have an ability to minimize the layers of clothing you're going to be wearing, or if you have an ability to wear less equipment, wear your helmet. That's not what I'm talking about. But any other heavy equipment, minimize what you can, and if there's a lighter version available, please go for that, because that will help. drinking an ice slurry or a slush type beverage can also be very helpful. This really seems elementary, but avoid severe heat when possible. If you can do your activities in the early morning or later in the evening hours when things start to cool off, that's going to lessen your risk, of course. Take frequent breaks when you can. Try to go sit in the shade and rest. If you can have a fan with you, use that. Cooling towels, if you get them wet, wear them around your neck or wherever and then shake it out and it will cool itself. Those can be very helpful too. So I think what it boils down to is listen to your mother, because she already told you all of these things, and Dr. Mindy is only reinforcing what she already said. Make sure you're well hydrated, grab yourself some shade, and head out and enjoy the summer, but be safe about it. Don't forget to like and subscribe.